This is why you're working your ass off and you're not getting any further. You're not getting to where you want to get, even though you're doing everything you can do, right? No. Listen, I know you're working hard, but you're not doing the scary part. You're not doing the thing that scares you the most. It's not actually about working hard. It's about doing the thing that scares you the most, which is probably the hardest thing to do. But guess what? After doing this thing that scares you so much, you realize it's not scary at all. You realize it's actually way easier than working hard 12 hours a day, doing everything on your own because you're afraid to ask for help, which is my issue. So I'm talking from experience here. We all have 24 hours in a day, right? This is equal for everyone. Working as many hours as you can, doing hard labor, doing it yourself, like getting the work done, is not gonna have any effect if it's not the scary thing. It's not about how much you do, it's about what you do. You know exactly, trust me, even if you think you don't, you know exactly what thing you have to do, which is just so scary that it's easier to distract yourself with all kinds of other work and projects that are just less scary, but maybe more work. And they are distracting you from the thing that you really need to do, which might be a very simple thing. It's just scary because it's attached to some kind of childhood trauma and you're getting triggered by it. We're gonna talk about this. So you keep yourself busy to distract yourself from what really needs to get done. Trust me, I know this. I do this all the time. My name is Maria Anouk. I'm an artist, all-around performer, and I do everything independently in my music career, in almost all careers that I have. So I know exactly this position and I deal with it all the time. I deal with it all the time, let me tell you. We stay busy because that means that we feel like we're getting it done when actually we need to deep dive. What? We need to dive. We need to dive deeper to a place that is much darker and much scarier. And that's very triggering and very confronting for us. And therefore we keep distracting ourselves. For example, let's take singing. I'm a singer. I know a lot of singers and I've been this singer myself, not just with singing, but also with my dancing career and also with my songwriting career, like everything. It's easier, even though it might sound harder, it's easier to take every class in the world, to practice every technique you possibly can, to practice as much as you can, to get coaching from like amazing technical singers. But at the end of the day, what you need to do to become a good singer is to dive very deep into yourself, because using your voice in any way basically, but in singing, is very vulnerable, and you really have to be able to be vulnerable, and you have to accept your own sound, and that's just very difficult. It's very difficult because it's like looking into the mirror and really seeing yourself, really hearing yourself and being authentic with it. And this is the hardest thing to do for anyone who's making music, for anyone who's singing, maybe for anyone in general. It's very hard to do. I've been on a journey this past year of looking into the mirror and being honest with myself about my insecurities, about my struggles, about my traumas, everything. And I mean, I'm still learning, I'm still processing, I'm still getting there. But the way I've reconnected with my voice has been insane, in a way that I cannot learn this in technical class. So this is just an example. You need to do the scary thing. Practicing a technical skill is hard, but it's not scary. Okay, it's not scary. Another issue of mine is that with all the businesses that I run for myself and all the independent work I do, it's very hard for me to ask for help, just in general. Therefore, I would rather work very hard, like every day, and get everything done, practice and make content and post singing stuff and post covers and make choreographies. But the thing that scares me more is to actually write an email to a venue and ask them if I can perform in their venue. That's scary for me. It's scary for me to ask for help. It's scary for me to contact people like, hey, you want to perform with me? Hey, you want to make music with me? Hey, can I perform at your party, at your venue, at your event? That's much scarier for me than to work hard and work on my skills and make content and post it. Like, it's also important, but it's way scarier for me to write an email than to sit down and record a cover of some song that I like. So I understand now that sending that email is more important because it's gonna get me further, because it's what's scary. And guess what? I have sent an email this week. And guess what? I got a reply. And guess what? I got a gig. And it's scary. And also, this is like a whole nother subject. And I will probably make a different video about this one day. But we self-sabotage a lot. And the reason why we do that is because we've experienced the negative outcome, for me example, of making music, writing songs, singing a lot, and not performing a lot. This is the outcome that I'm used to. This is the outcome that my brain is used to. If I suddenly get a lot of shows because I'm emailing people and I'm getting gigs, my brain cannot try to predict the future anymore because it's new and I don't know that life. I don't know that feeling, that position. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna self-sabotage so that I can predict the future again. That's how our brain works, and it goes way deeper than that, and I will probably get into it sometime. But for now, let's stick to the subject. I tried to build up my career on my own for many, many years. And the last year and a half, maybe 2 years, I finally learned how to ask for help in baby steps, like getting there. And now I finally have a good producer. I have band members. I have someone who happens to be my sister to do my website. But it's still difficult, even if it's family. It's still difficult, and that's my issue. So for you, it might be something else that you're very scared to do. Maybe your thing is that you make art. Doesn't matter what it is. Maybe it's paintings, maybe it's music. You make art. Maybe you write. Maybe the thing you're scared of is to show it to people. Let people see it, let people read it. And guess what? We can write like 1,000 books, but if no one's ever gonna read it, it's not gonna bring you anything. And another thing is, this fear is not gonna go anywhere. We cannot wait until we become fearless, because that never happens. The only thing we can do is acknowledge the fear, acknowledge that it's there, knowing that it's fear, because the moment you realize, oh, I'm just scared, it actually loses a lot of its strength, because you know it's not the truth anymore, it's just a fear. That voice in your head is coming from a place of fear, of maybe childhood trauma. Acknowledging it as fear makes it become less powerful. It makes it possible for you to see the full picture again, to have like a helicopter view of the situation again. Like, oh, I'm just scared. If I send an email, I'm not gonna get death threats back. I'm just gonna send an email. Someone might respond, maybe no one will respond, but I'm not gonna die. I'm fine. A way to conquer this is, it helps a lot to research for yourself where this fear originated from, which might be from something that you lacked in your childhood, like something that traumatized you in a way. A lot of people think being traumatized is like you needed to be abused. No, something can very quickly be traumatizing when you're young and vulnerable, and it doesn't have to be abuse. It can be just the lack of the right amount of attention, the lack of some kind of physical touch maybe. It's individual for everyone, but finding out where that fear originated from is and like working with the healing from that can help a lot. It's never gonna fully disappear. It's always gonna be an issue, but you just learn as you go. For me personally, it's quite hard sometimes to like find the difference between a gut feeling telling me, no, this is not a good idea, or my fear telling me, that's not a good idea. That's quite difficult for me. I'm still learning how to divide the two. What is what? It helps a lot to become aware of yourself. As soon as I need to write an email and it becomes slightly overwhelming in a way, I'm on my phone. I'm in the other room of the house. I'm not behind my desk anymore. I'm gone. Somewhere else. I'm trying to become more aware of when I'm overwhelmed and I'm like trying to get out of the situation. Because this feeling of being overwhelmed by something that's so small and so simple to do is obviously fear. Obviously. It took me a while to realize what my fear is and why it's holding me back. Very long time actually. And I know it's much easier said than done. Acknowledge the fear, know it's there, and then do it anyway. That's what I'm trying to go by every day. And if you don't know what that fear is, maybe it's an idea to look back at your life, see the things you've done, look at the projects that maybe you started but never finished, look at the ideas that you had in your head but you never really executed, and they keep coming back in your head like, oh, I need to do this. Write it down. Write down all the things you've done and something was blocking the process. Something was blocking the process of that project or of that idea that you had. And just go back. I did that and I realized as soon as I went back in the past and looked at the past projects that I did, I noticed, okay, I'm afraid to ask for help. I'm afraid of negative feedback. Not knowing at the time that if you're afraid of negative feedback and you're not working with people because you're afraid they're not gonna like your ideas, whatever, you're also making it impossible for people to give you positive feedback. Because no one knows what you're doing. Maybe no one knows who you are. And that's okay. You don't need to be anywhere right now. You need to be right here and become self-aware. That's it. But if you're afraid of negative feedback and therefore you're isolating yourself, which is what I did for years, you're also taking away the possibility of getting a lot of positive feedback, which helps you grow a lot. a lot. And let me tell you, as soon as I started working with people, 90% of the time was positive feedback. It was encouragement. It was inspiration to the max. Okay, that's it for today. That's what I wanted to share with you, because this is something I'm going through. This is a struggle of mine. And I've been learning, I'm still learning, and I love to share what I'm learning, what I'm going through. So if you think this video encouraged you to do the scary thing, please like this video, because that encourages me to keep doing this YouTube thing, which is also kind of scary for me. If you want to learn more about how to build the life that you really want and that you really deserve, I highly suggest that you hit that subscribe button and you keep following me, because I will be here every Sunday giving you something to start off the week ahead with some extra motivation, encouragement, knowledge, whatever it is you need. My name is Maria Anouk. I hope this video helped you. And if you want to follow me anywhere else, my socials are in the description. It's basically Maria Anouk everywhere. Okay, bye.